Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back with again with another project for you, and this time it's a project to showcase some colour combinations. And you can see here I've used mint macaron with some blackberry bliss and old olive. So I've used a couple of returning colours, the blackberry bliss and the mint macaron, with a colour that's staying, which is old olive, and I'm using the lovely Love What You Do stamp set and the Share What You Love coordinating DSP, which has some beautiful pearlised accents on it on the front of each sheet. And here's the sheet of paper that I'm using there. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely floral images. So inside the box, and we're thinking, well, yeah, it doesn't look particularly exciting, but it holds 4, I've just popped 2 in here, of our narrow note cards and envelopes, and I've decorated the envelopes with some of the DSP as well to coordinate, and then use the stamp set to create some lovely little note cards. So the cards come to you already scored but blank, and so I'm just going to show you how to decorate those up and make a box to keep them in. It's always useful to have some note cards handy, just to say thank you. It's really appreciated if you can give a little handmade thank you card. So that's what we're doing, and on with the project. So to start off with, you're going to need some I'm going to use some mint macaron. So this time, rather than using the blackberry bliss, I'm going to actually use grapefruit grove, which is one of our brand new in colours for the project. And so that's the ink pad, and the cardstock is this lovely orange colour here. So to start with, I'm working in centimetres. You're going to need a piece of card that is 17.5 by 19. So that is just avoiding the crease. So 17.5, and then trim that down to 19. Like so. And you're going to score the long edge at 1.5. So I've done that on the right, then flip it round, and you're going to score at 9, 10.5, and 18 centimetres. So that's what we've got. One that's slightly narrower, and that's because it will tuck into the side and just make it a little bit easier for us when you come to close the box. It gives it, just see there, it gives you a little bit less bulk. That piece folds around and just tucks on the side there. Okay. Then we're going to score our short edge at 2 centimetres. So I've put the narrow piece at the top, so 2 centimetres. I'm just flipping it round, 3.5 and 16 centimetres. And the easiest way to do the 16 centimetres is actually to line it up at 1.5 on the right hand side, because it's just over the edge of the trimmer. So that's what you're going to end up with. I'll pop the trimmer away just for a moment. We'll come back and use that again in a second. But let's make our box. So we're going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. So, and then from the top as well. And then we're going to trim away some of these excess pieces. So this section here is going to be our lid, so that's going to be the front and the back. So what you're going to trim away to start off with are these two, well, 4 sections here. Like so. Okay, we're then going to cut straight down and cut away that section and just notch this out. These are our little fold-in tabs. Straight down on this side, just across here, and notch those out as well. So this is going to be our lid. So you're just going to, you can either use a corner rounder or just trim that away. Then at the bottom, you're going to cut straight up and notch out the small tabs in the opposite where you've cut those out at the top. And then you're just going to cut away this last little bit on the side and then just angle that one as well. So you'll end up with a piece of card that looks like this. And before we make it up, we need to add our panels. So we'll be adding a panel here and on each of the two side pieces. So bring your trimmer back in, and you're going to want a piece that is 12.2 centimetres. And you want two pieces that are 1.2 from those. And those are the side panels. And then your middle panel is 7.2 centimetres. So I've managed to cut that one, not quite right. So again, 12.2 by 7.2. So you'll have three pieces of cardstock, one for the front and one each for the sides. Then you're going to cut your designer series paper. And this comes from this lovely pack here of Share What You Love. As you can see here, some super patterns, and you get 4 sheets of every colour, of every pattern, and they're all double-sided as well. So you've got lots that you can play with in there. Don't be afraid to use it up. So having cut that at 12.2, we want to cut this at 12 centimetres. And you just need to be careful if you've got a pattern which has got an orientation that you cut it so in the right direction. Our panels then, you want 2 panels of 1 centimetre. So I'm going to cut those on the end here. Actually, what you could do, perhaps make it easier for you, cut it at 9 centimetres first, then cut a panel at 1 centimetre from this side. Just thinking the best way to show you how to get a coordinating pattern. That's going to be the right panel. Flip it, cut a panel from the left edge at 1 centimetre. So that'll be on the left side, and then you'll find your pattern will then wrap around your box. That'll go in the middle there. Okay. So having cut our panels, we just need to attach them to our cardstock. So you can see, lovely, that's a super script on the back here. And because we've just kept a tiny sort of millimetre border, it's a very, literally just a sort of hint of colour to come round. So all you need to do is just pop that nice and narrow, like so. Do the same on our side panels. Obviously if you're working in inches, you might want to work in 1/8 of an inch to give the narrow border. I often work in 3 millimetres rather than 2. It might have made it a little bit easier, but you can see you just pop those down like so. Then bring our box back in, and we're going to stick our panel onto the front, and you'll see that mint macaron with the grapefruit grove gives a lovely splash of colour. And I'm not an orange person, it's not just a colour I naturally tend towards. I kind of tend towards the sort of pinks and blue tones and purples. I do like a purple. Okay. Before you fold your box up, take a 1-inch punch and just by eye work out, so around about the middle, and just punch a little notch at the back there. Make life easier for you. Now what we want to do is add some glue to this smaller of the two panels. And the best way to make sure that's nice and flat is to fold this larger part over the top. Fold those bottom two flaps in. That one's just slightly, there you go, slightly out. And again, just pop a little bit of glue on the edge there. Okay, and so that is our box construction. All that's left now is to decorate the front. So, to decorate the front, you're going to need a piece of our grapefruit grove. And you want a piece that is 7 by 2 centimetres. So this is 7 centimetres, so we just want to cut a strip off that's 2 centimetres. And then you can then just stick that to a scrap of your offcut of card, which and you're going to be making a banner. So what I'm going to do is cut a slightly smaller piece. No, that's my banner piece. Let's start again. Right, I need a piece that's 7 by 2 centimetres in mint macaron. So that is, in fact, 2 centimetres. That's the piece I wanted. Then cut that into a flag end and just cut a little bit way in and flag our ends. Just like so. Stick that onto a scrap of grapefruit grove. Just with a narrow border, like so. And just leave that, because it's wet glue, leave that to one side just to stick. And while we're doing that, we can do some stamping. So here's one of my narrow note cards. We're going to do the stamping inside. I'm going to use the background stamp along with some grapefruit grove. Because it's a photopolymer stamp, I'm just going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat here, so I've got to get a good impression. Particularly important for these solid stamps. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ink up my stamp and stamp off, and then pop that in the middle there, like so. And you get quite a textured effect there. I'm then going to come in with some Blackberry Bliss. As you can see, I've got an old ink pad here because I kept mine. And I've stamped that off before adding that onto my card. I'm going to stamp my thank you across the bottom here. Probably won't be very straight because I've done it without standing over it. And then I'm going to use the little block here, but I'm going to stamp off first because you don't want it too strong. And this ink pad is quite juicy, even though it's an older one. And then I'm going to come in with some old olive to add some flowers. just going to stamp off slightly first. Add some flowers there. And that's our little note card. And then to decorate our envelope, I'm going to come in and with the DSP, again, I'm going to use some wet glue. And just put that around the edge of the envelope. Line that up, like so. And then from the reverse, just roughly cut that for ease to show you. All you do is you just trim around the edge of the envelope, using the envelope as a guide. And that way you've got a pretty coordinating envelope to go with our card. And all that's left is to finish decorating the front of our box. So if I bring this back in, trim narrowly along the edge, along with the flag ends, and that sticks flat onto our box, like so. Then with our 2 1/4 inch punch, punch a circle. That's going to go in the centre there. So unusually I'm putting the glue on here first. And then we're just going to stamp on a scrap of Whisper White our flowers again. So stamp off, stamp our flowers, come in with our and then you can come in with the 2 inch punch, punch that out, and add that to the front of your box. And there we are, with a pretty little box for you to create a set of lovely note cards. So there's my original, there's my second one, there's my original. So we've got 2 colour combinations here. We've got Mint Macaron and Grapefruit Grove and Mint Macaron and Blackberry Bliss. I don't know which one I prefer, but you can use either of those just to give us a little gift or keep handy, ready to say thank you when you're out and about. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you'd like any of the products I've shown you today, pop along to my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net, or go to my blog, flutterbyheidi.co.uk, and follow the links to the products there. Share What You Love is available from right now in bundles, or from the 1st of June when the new catalogue goes live. Bye for now.